Hi everybody and welcome back to the workshop. Today I've been nominated for 10 questions, which is a thing that's happening for popular YouTubers, and I've been nominated by Martin Saban-Smith, so thank you very much for Martin, and I hope I do you proud, and I will then in turn nominate someone at the end of this video. So without further ado, Nicola, first question please.
When did you start wood turning and why?
When was about 4 years ago, so that's that part done, that was easy. Why is because I wanted to turn my own vampire stake, being a massive horror fan. I had this idea that I wanted a vampire stake as a piece of decorative art, but I didn't want to just whittle it. It wasn't the look that I was going for, so I knew that it would have to be turned, but I didn't know how to do it, so that's why I started wood turning. And just before and then I've got it here, the first vampire stake that I turned. So it's a piece of pine, and I've kept that for posterity, and it reminds me of why and how it all started. So there you go, first ever vampire stake. Okay.
How did you get started?
I got started by, once I'd made the decision that I needed to learn wood turning myself, I listened to YouTube literally for probably 5 or 6 hours a day for many months. I didn't attend any seminars or symposiums or wood turning classes or groups. It was just purely YouTube, and I listened to, obviously these names we all know and love: Mike Waltz, Carl Jacobson, Captain Eddie. So it was people like that. It was predominantly, it's your fault Mike, it was predominantly Mike Waltz who I listened to. Everything that he'd done, his beginner's guides, and I listened for many months until I had what I considered a very good and accurate mental picture, and that's how I did it really.
What tools do you use the most?
Tools I use the most, I've got them here really. I've got, I think it's a 3/8 Robert Sorby spindle gouge, which I love using. There's that. I have it's just a couple here, but I've got a few more. My Glen Teagle carbide tools, which are indispensable, and they allow me to do things with much greater confidence than with beveled tools, which I can use and I do use, but I use these a lot because they just give me that safety net. And then finally, it's the Tracy Owen fine finishing tools, which again they work so well, and I'm able to deal with bad tear out and things with these tools. Absolutely amazing. So they're my favourite tools, and they serve me well, and I use them on pretty much everything.
What finish do you prefer?
The finish I prefer, it's sealed and wax, whether or not it's bry wax or it's Hampshire sheen or even friction polish, which is, you know, sort of like a wax finish. I used to do CA finishes on pens, but I didn't like the feel of it. It just felt like a plastic pen, and I like to do just a wax finish on my wooden pens now because you can feel the wood and it's tactile. And yeah, so wax finish, sealed and waxed.
What would you like to achieve this year?
This year I would love to achieve success at the demonstrations that I've been booked to do. It's important that I perform as best as I can, and to continue promoting disabled artists and disabled craftsmen and women. So that's an important part, to keep promoting the abilities of people that have got real life issues, and keep spreading the word and spreading the love. So that's important, and progressing with the wood turning and getting better and trying new things. And hopefully I would like to get a few people in here for classes. I really want to do that this year as well. Try and get some people here and instruct and teach some people, because it went really well with Peter Corcoran. And I know that some people might be thinking, oh well, he's blind and is it safe? But I've proved that that I could instruct Peter, and I taught him how to turn pens, and that's one of my big aims this year, to instruct and teach more people.
What part of turning do you enjoy the most?
All of it, really. I enjoy the thought process before I attempt a project. I love thinking about what I'm going to do, getting the mental picture built up. I love feeling wood in the workshop to help give me an idea of what I need to do. It's obviously a challenge for me to even mount the wood and find centre. I love turning it and letting the form progress. I love the sanding, although that's probably my least favourite part, the sanding, but I still enjoy it as part of the process. And I love the finishing. So I really, really love all of it. The only thing that I'm not overly keen on also, it's parting off spindle work. That freaks me out a bit. But it always goes according to plan. It just freaks me out a bit, parting work off on the spindle in between centres. So I enjoy all of it, really.
What is the favourite piece you have turned?
Well, I've got two actually, and I've got them here to show you. This one is my attempt at a Viking bowl, which Nick Hagar is famous for doing. So I wanted to have a go with my airbrushes and colour, and it's heavily textured and gilty, so that took a long time for me to do, and I'm really happy that it came out the way it did, and I've had a lot of favourable comments. And then this other piece here, it's a large segmented vase, really, bowl, and Leon Britton, he did the initial glue up, but I'm really pleased because there was a lot of facets and corners and edges, and I thought, well, there's a lot of potential for catches, but I didn't have a single catch on it, and I love the feel and the shape of it, and I love the feel of the spiral and the texture in the base. So I think, definitely those two pieces are my favourites.
To colour or not to colour?
Well, strange question for a blind guy, but the things that I have coloured I've really enjoyed, and I think if somebody wants to colour, if I want to colour a piece, just go for it. I don't want to get hung up in this, let the wood show through. And if I've got a piece and I think I'm going to colour this, once I've made that decision, I'm very happy with it. I think, there's a place and a time for colouring, and I know people try to colour quite bland wood, sycamores and things like that. But I like colouring, and I'm definitely going to do more of it. And I've got an airbrush, and I used to be in the auto body industry, so I love colour and painting and spraying. It used to be my job, so definitely colouring. I like it. I'm going to do more.
Why did you start a YouTube channel?
I started a YouTube channel to show people what a blind man is capable of when he puts his mind to it. And I think, and I know that I have inspired a few people to take up wood turning, and I've inspired people with disabilities to have a go at new things and face new challenges. A lot of people say they started YouTube channels to give back, and I'm glad that I'm able to do that now. But that wasn't the catalyst. The catalyst was, there's a blind guy here with no vision at all, and look what I can do, and if I can do it, everybody out there can do things they didn't think was possible. And hopefully I'm teaching that even if you're able-bodied and you can see and there's nothing wrong with you, you can still approach life the way that I do and seize every minute and have a laugh and do the best that you can. And whether or not you're a labourer, or you work in an office, or you're an airline pilot, do your very best. Whatever you do, just be the best you can be, and that's what I want to portray in my YouTube channel.
What other hobbies do you enjoy?
Other hobbies, I haven't got too many at the moment. I love my woodturning obviously, but other hobbies, I listen to a lot of music, predominantly heavy metal and heavy rock. In the future, I would like to have a go at riding a motorcycle again. I used to be a keen biker, and I've had lots and lots of very fast, high-powered motorcycles in my life, so I miss that. And talking to Mike Newman the other day from the Speed of Sight, and that's still something we want to push, riding motorcycles, being blind. So, but at the moment, my hobbies really revolve around music and listening to audiobooks, really. And I love cooking too, and I suppose you could say that's a hobby.
That was the last question.
That was the last question. Right, so thank you very much. That went very well, I think, didn't it, Nicola?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, so I've thoroughly enjoyed that, and I hope it's give you a bit of more of an insight into what makes me tick. And now the job of nominating somebody else. So I am going to nominate Leon Britton from Would You Believe It? So Leon, famous for the segmenting kits. Hope you do well at it, mate, and I look forward to hearing you answer your 10 questions. So that's it from me. So thanks everybody. Bye.